It's easy to think that we as humans are kind of done, like this is the final product. But that couldn't be farther from the truth. The reality is we are always changing. So the real question is, what's next? What are we going to look like in, say, 1,000 years? Well, let's dive in and check out some of the wildest possibilities.
And look, this isn't just some sci-fi daydreaming. We can actually look at the trends happening right now, the tech that's just coming out, and make some really fascinating predictions about where our species is headed.
And just to be super clear, evolution isn't some dusty concept from a biology textbook. Nope, it's happening right now as we speak. I mean, get this. Did you know we're getting taller? Back in 1880, the average guy was about 5'7". Fast forward to today, and he's 5'10". That's a whole 3 inches in just a handful of generations. It's crazy, right?
Okay, so getting taller is one thing, but the changes coming our way, they could be way more dramatic than that. And you know what one of the biggest drivers is going to be? Our own tech. Yeah, we're talking about the point where our biology actually starts merging with the machines we create.
Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like total Hollywood stuff. But the groundwork? It's already here. Seriously, just think about the tech we have right now. Hearing aids that aren't just for hearing better, they can record stuff, basically acting like a phone in your ear. We've got teams working on bionic eyes to help blind people see. And prosthetics? They're getting unbelievably advanced every single year.
So where does this all go? That's where it gets really mind-blowing. Picture a future where those bionic eyes aren't just for fixing vision, but for upgrading it, giving us the power to see things no human has ever seen, like infrared light or even X-rays. And that's the key takeaway here. The tech starts by helping us, but it could end up enhancing us.
But hey, it's not all going to be about external hardware, right? The next giant leap in our evolution, well, it's happening at a scale you can't even see. We're going microscopic, right inside our own genetic code.
You see, our genes are already doing this on their own, trying to help us survive. There is this incredible study led by Oxford that found a group of kids in South Africa. They're infected with HIV, but they're perfectly healthy. It turns out their bodies have this amazing natural defense that just stops the virus from ever turning into AIDS. So nature itself is already hacking our own code for us.
So that begs the question, right? What if we could grab the controls? Well, that's exactly where this game-changing technology called CRISPR comes into play. The easiest way to think about it, it's like a tiny, tiny pair of scissors for our genes, letting us edit our own DNA with unbelievable accuracy.
And the potential here, it's just staggering. I mean, we could literally target a genetic disease to snip out the bad part of the code, and bam, you're immune. Some scientists are even talking about using tools like this to one day, get this, reverse aging. We'd basically be grabbing the steering wheel of our own evolution.
Okay, so if rewriting our own DNA isn't a big enough leap for you, how about this? Leaving Earth altogether. Yeah, setting up shop on a new world like Mars could totally kickstart our evolution down a brand new, unexpected path.
And why would that happen? Well, because Mars is just so different from Earth. It's a whole other ballgame. Just look at 2 of the biggest things that would totally reshape us there: sunlight and gravity. And let me tell you, the differences are huge. So for starters, Mars gets 66% less sunlight than we do. It's a lot dimmer. Over many, many generations, what could that do? It could lead to Martian humans evolving bigger pupils, to let their eyes soak up as much of that limited light as possible, just so they can see.
But what's even crazier is the gravity. The pull on Mars is only about 38% of what we're used to. That's really weak. And that kind of low gravity would have a massive effect on our bodies, especially our skeletons.
See, when you're in space, the fluid between your vertebrae actually expands. So one aerospace engineer, Robert Zubrin, he thinks that over time on Mars, that super low gravity could let our spines stretch out, maybe adding several inches to our height. Can you imagine? The first real Martians could literally, physically look down on all of us back on Earth.
But hold on. Even becoming a species that lives on multiple planets might not be the biggest change in store for us. The ultimate push, the one thing that could trigger the most massive change of all, it might just come down to our basic instinct to survive.
So let's recap. We've got merging with machines, rewriting our own DNA, even colonizing other planets. After all of that, what could possibly be left? What's the biggest, most insane evolutionary leap we could take in the next millennium?
Well, how about beating death?
Yeah, the most radical change of all could be ditching these fragile biological bodies of ours for good.
So how would that even work? The most likely route to something like immortality would probably involve separating our minds from our bodies. The idea is that you could download your consciousness, everything that makes you you, into something way more durable. Something that's not biological, maybe a digital reality, or a super advanced machine.
And once again, this isn't just a crazy sci-fi plot. Right now, as we speak, scientists in Italy and China are actually doing head transplants on animals. And what's their goal? They want to see if you can actually transfer a consciousness from one body to another, and they say their next move is to try it with human heads. Wild, right?
So, look, whether we end up merging with machines or becoming machines altogether, one thing is for sure. The human race is not the final version. We are a work in progress, always changing, always adapting, and absolutely always evolving.
And all of this brings us to one last really big question. We live in a pretty dangerous universe, right? So maybe, just maybe, our survival actually depends on us changing. Is it possible that the faster we change, the faster we evolve and branch out from Earth, the better shot we have at outrunning extinction in the long run? What do you think?